Hello, hello. What's going on, everybody? How are you guys? Oh, I didn't turn my lights on. Let me turn my lights on really quick. Oh, let's get that one up. All right, there's one. There's one studio overly priced light. Let's get the other one. Oh, come here, light. There we go. There we go. We got the lights up now. Oh. Whew. All right. Hope you guys had a great week. Hope everything, or a great weekend, I guess. Hope you guys, outside of the Alabama nonsense, I guess we call that a football game. I'm not really sure. Jacob, Scott Davis, myself, and Porter, our producer, we, good stuff. Really good podcast. We talked a lot about what we witnessed. So that is available for you guys down below in the description box, the link to the Hog Talk podcast. Liked and shared, of course, Kelly Marie, of course. You're just there. I love it. You are amazing. Hey, Ty, I love the channel. Dying hard down here in Atlanta. Woo pig. We've got a couple people here on the channel that are in that part of the country. Never thought I'd see the Razorbacks suck this bad. Are you a fish man? Come on, you're a reg. You're a reg around here. You know what's up. This is ongoing since they hired Chad Morris. Although I gotta admit, I think like a lot of people, I was on board. I liked what he could do in recruiting. I liked that style of offense. Because it's what everybody else is doing today, right? And then you saw out the gate how well he could recruit. Hope y'all enjoyed your kidlessness. Yes, it was fantastic. Oh my gosh, it was fantastic. What did we watch? We watched a movie. Oh, we watched the movie about the guy who he's riding on his bike. I forgot what it's called. Yesterday, the Beatles song, right? So the guy's riding on his bike, and all of a sudden there's like a blackout. And he gets hit by a bus. He wakes up, and nobody has ever heard of the Beatles. It was a really good movie. So my wife and I, we did that. We watched a movie. Then we fell asleep. Like, that was it. But it was so nice not to have the kids. So welcome, everybody. Remember to like, comment, share the content. Remember to copy and paste that URL up above. Please paste it around social media. Let people know. I'm going to do that here in just a second. But actually, let me do that because we have some pretty exciting news. We talked about it briefly on Discord. And a lot of people thought that we were talking about recruiting. This is not Razorback it is Razorback athletics related, but you'll know here in just a minute. We'll cover that here in a second. But I brought someone along with me to help share the huge update. So let me copy and paste this really quick because I want to get as many people in here as we can, so I don't have to keep repeating myself. You guys know how I feel about repeating myself. I'm going to copy and paste it, and then we're going to put it on the Facebook. Let's do that. Facebook. Okay. All right. We're there. Let's see. I'm going to post this on the Hawk Talk board over on the Facebook page. Big update there's our dog, or not our dog, our neighbor's dog. Every show he wants to say hello by barking as loud as he can, 2 feet from my window, if you can't hear it. Big update for the Hog Talk podcast happening right now here. And then we're just going to put some little fancy arrows pointing at us at our link here. Let's do that. Copy and paste that bad boy. It's going to fetch the Oh, there it is. All right. We're going to share. There you go. Just like that. That took me, 30 seconds? Not too bad. Let's do it on Twitter really fast. Again, welcome for those of you just coming in. I know we're kind of slowly filtering in. And I need to hurry. My guest, I'm sure he's got a lot going on today, so I want to try and hurry up here. Oh, wait. We need to be on the... okay. Big update for us here on the Hog Talk podcast. I should just copy and pasted it, but Twitter and Facebook you gotta kind of handle a little bit differently. Big update for us here on the Hog Talk podcast happening right here. Hashtag We close. Hashtag we close. Let's see. Yeah, so it's not recruiting related. I'm sorry. As far as I know, there's nothing going on with recruiting as of right now. Okay, so we got it all shared. All right. We got a few folks in here. I hope that worked. I think it worked. Yeah, so yesterday was good. I don't know if any of you guys have caught it, but it's a pretty good flick. If you like the Beatles, and look, I'm a big classic rock fan. You guys, a lot of you know that. I'm a big, huge Zeppelin fan. Boston, Queen, of course, the Beatles. Really, it's basically a love letter to the Beatles and just the appreciation the world has for that music. But I like all stuff. I even like some old country and some hip hop and R&B from the 90s. I'm an 80s kid, so let's see. His guest is Paul Feinbaum. All right, without further ado, my main man. I'm gonna have to get this straightened out here. My main man, our producer from the Hog Talk podcast, none other than Porter Hayes himself, aka Peck. How you doing, sir?
Doing good, guys. Doing good. So, without further ado, we've been trying really hard to, get our foot in the door when it comes to Razorback athletics, and so sports and culture in Arkansas and the Hog Talk podcast, we've kind of joined forces, and we're proud to present you that we're going to give exclusive content to the women's basketball games, and today we have received our press credentials for the women's games, all the games.
Yes. Did you hear that? How long have I been talking about getting a press pass here? We have a press pass. We finally have access to a press pass. Porter, thanks a lot. Have a good rest of your day, my friend. Thank you so much. I will, of course, talk to you after I'm done streaming here if you're not busy. That was Porter Hayes, our producer. We got him. Now, we are limited to, hang on just a second. Let's get this all figured out. I don't know how to hang up the, disconnect. There we go. Okay. All right. There we go. We got it. It is to women's games for right now, but we have multiple passes. So Porter and myself will be probably at most. I don't know how we're going to make all. I'm going to try to make as many as I can, but it has happened. We have finally. This is what we've been asking for. This is what we've been working really hard for, and it has paid off. It really has. Love old country, Pink Floyd all day. I love Pink Floyd too. God, The Wall. That's great music. I would have some music or something, but I don't want to get another video taken down, as we have seen before. Congrats, media passes. That's right. I know to some people it's like, whatever, but like we've started from the bottom, now we're here, as a certain rapper once stated, from Canada. I think his name is Drake. It's not easy doing this. I'm not going to lie to you guys. The stuff that I feel like I work like 3 jobs. Trying to keep up with everything. I'm turning this fan on because I'm getting trying to keep up with everything with recruiting, just kind of what's going on in the Razorback world. To be honest with you, I am on the outside looking in on women's sports. This is going to help me close that gap. I'm really excited about that. But we all bust our rears. Porter and Jacob. I can't express enough gratitude to those guys. They have worked so hard to get guests on. We've had, I'm going to brag, and I'm going to plug the Hog Talk podcast, because the work we have done over there has been nothing short of amazing, and it is thanks to those 2 guys. Again, this has been incredible. We've had our moments where we've gotten into little small arguments on Marco Polo, and by the way, it's a really awesome app. You need to check into it. It's really good. You get to see your wife's angry face as she's talking to you. It's been a journey, man. And we started this. Jacob and I came together back in May, and I had turned down I don't know how many proposals of doing podcasts with people, and then Jacob comes along and he's like, let's do something, let's collaborate. And so Jacob and I started talking, and we talked about doing possibly a magazine. We talked about, and then I was like, Jacob and I both came to the agreement, let's do a podcast. Let's completely rebrand. Let's call it the Hog Talk Podcast. Let's print shirts, stickers. Let's get ourselves out there, and let's maybe a year from now we'll get a press pass. Well, a few months later, we've got our press pass to women's sports, to women's basketball. I think right now, hopefully that expands. And it's been a journey. And then of course we brought Peck on, who, oh my gosh, he has just killed it with bringing on guests. The list just goes on and on. And you guys. I mean, you guys have made this that much better. I wasn't really into live streaming a whole lot. You guys remember, some of you who've been around a while, I didn't do a whole lot of live streams. And I think I did one. I can't remember if it was a post game or if it was just out of the blue. I don't remember what. Just I had it in the back of my mind. Let's do a live. Let's just do it. And you guys, like, talking to you, getting to know some of you. Some of you guys have followed over to the Discord page, the Hog Talk Discord page. I feel like we've created our own community, and you guys have made this possible through donations, through coming through all the live shows. Hats off to you guys. We put in the work, but you guys, like, we do it for you, and you guys continue to come through. And it's just, I don't know, man. Like, my wife says I'm very sentimental, and and I am. Stuff like this, don't think for a second that I don't forget, and I know who you guys are that come through. I know my haters. I know who they are. I know a lot of people who didn't believe in what we were doing, who even people I considered friends, not really supporting what, and Jacob experienced the same. I'm sure Porter has too. People who really thought we were just a couple of guys on a microphone, and that's what we were, but never thought we would do anything more. And I think we've done a pretty cool thing. We've built a pretty cool little brand, and I hope that we continue to grow. And I don't know where this goes, but as long as you guys are here, I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. So there's also more good news. More good news today. Now this actually happened yesterday morning. You guys know I have the Pig Trail podcast, which this will be called the PTP eventually. I think that's what I'm going to do. I feel like that's what I'm going to do. It's going to be called the PTP. Sounds like a really dirty, something you would read out of a dirty magazine. Who wants to do some PTP? Oh, yeah. No, that's not. But the Pig Trail podcast, that is up, right? We were only on Spotify for like the first week. And by the way, Friday's show never got put up. That's my bad. I just forgot. This weekend was crazy. And then, of course, we had our alone time Saturday night, and I just completely forgot. I will get to this episode will be up tomorrow there on the Pig Trail podcast. But I am now, as of Sunday, I'm on iTunes now. I'm on Spotify. I'm everywhere. I think the only thing I'm waiting on is iHeartRadio. God, this week has been awesome, despite the Alabama loss. All right, that's it. Enough of the emotional blah, blah crap. Let's get into, I don't know if we want to talk about the Razorbacks in Alabama or not. I wanted to do the post-game show. God, it took every bit of me to not come in, to not sneak in here and click the live button. It took every bit of my energy to resist doing that. I wanted to talk with you guys so bad. I had so many of you. I had emails, where you at, bro? People in Discord, people on Twitter, wanting to know where I was at for the halftime show for the Hog Talk. All you people were so curious where I was at, and I was so like, oh my God, I want to talk about it with you. I can feel your pain. I want to be here, but I couldn't. I just couldn't. I had to, and honestly, it was kind of a much-needed break. But Sunday, I went back and I watched the fourth quarter because that was really the only thing I missed. My wife was watching her shows in the living room, and I was like, well, I'm going to sneak in 3 quarters of football. And that's what I did. The fourth quarter was miserable, too. Alabama very clearly pumped the brakes, really not even halfway through the third quarter. Let's talk about John Stephen Jones for just a second. Actually, let me read chat. Let me read chat really quick. I know. Congrats, Ty! Yay! Congratulations, guys! Thank you for the upcoming content. Absolutely, yeah. Today's podcast is up that we recorded last night. We had Nick Mason, former Razorback, and you may know him from the Morning Rush with John Neighbors and Tommy Kraft. We had him on. How did you guys finally get them? Well, it took Porter. Really, this was Porter. I mean, in my opinion, most of the credit, 90% goes to Porter. He really took that on and hit the ground running with it. It probably helps that guys, I'm not kidding. It is hard to get press passes. Especially when you're just some guys who don't profit, who don't make money. Like, we don't run ads. We don't have that stuff. We do it all for free. Outside of the donations that you guys send to me, that's it. Like, I think I'm the only one of the three of us making any money. And that's not a whole lot. And I do appreciate what I get, but in regards to, like, the big guys, the big Arkansas media people, we're just some guys with a podcast at the end of the day. And, hang on a second. Hang on. I'm sorry. Hey. Oh, and it is, hang on just a second. Come here. It's someone's birthday, too, and I want her to say hello. Come here. Oh, and you're eating yogurt. Hang on.
Who is this?
This is the live show. This is what Daddy does.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
Hi.
Shh, not too loud. You're right up to the mic. This is Ellie, the oldest. Say hello.
Hello.
All right, that's the
Am
oldest.
I on YouTube?
Yeah, you are for a moment. Addie, come here. Hey, Brittany's on her way. She's going to be here in just a second to pick you up. Come here. You've got yogurt on your mouth. Okay. Nice. You sneaked that in, too. Didn't even ask Daddy. Say, hello, it's my birthday.
Hello, it's my... I'm so Hello,
Shh, shh, guys, don't be too loud.
Hello, it's my birthday.
Okay. All right, there you go. You wanted to be on YouTube. You're on YouTube. All right, let Daddy get back to work. Hey, get your Girl Scout stuff on, okay?
I can't find it.
Well, I don't know. Just make one. Make one out of paper. Okay, there you go. You got to meet the girls. First time ever. They've been driving me crazy about coming on. Where was I? I forgot. Let's just move on to the Razorbacks really quick. My wife's not home yet, so I don't know what's going on over there. Hi, happy birthday. Hi, happy birthday, adorable. Yeah, they're Addie's the youngest. She's just turned 5 today, and then my oldest is Ellie. She's 7. Okay, so So John Stephen Jones comes in the fourth quarter. I forgot where I left off. John Stephen Jones comes in the fourth quarter. Everyone's super excited about John. If you go back and watch that third quarter, it was or the fourth quarter, it was just tough to watch from start to finish, right? Like, it was not. John comes in, provides a spark. Now, I think there's a lot of people who are kind of hyping him up a little bit, because if you go back and you watch that drive, John did not. John actually got bailed out. They were actually punting, and Alabama got caught. They jumped off sides, and Alabama they breathed new life into that drive, and John Stephen was able to go down the field and score. John looked pretty good. I think he went, 5 of 6, I think it was. I had the stats pulled up here. Let's look at the stats really quick. He was 6 of 7, 49 yards and a touchdown. Starkle throws 3 picks. This is what I'll say with the quarterback situation. Just stop. Stop with Starkle. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that that's what they're going to do. But I will say that at the end of the day, what this staff, they're very, I don't know, is complacent the right word? They don't seem to want to make the right move. They know that benching Starkle and not putting Hicks back in is the answer. I think it is. If it's not the answer, then it's at least a possible solution to a problem that they have, which are these two quarterbacks. I have come to the conclusion I'm going to completely change. I'm going back on what I said about a quarterback that runs this system. I had said that you don't have to be a dual threat quarterback to run this system. I do think that that's true if you follow like what Hicks was able to do at SMU. But Hicks has some feet on him. He can run. He's definitely more of a mobile threat than Starkle is. Just doesn't have the arm talent. I'm done with that. I think you need a true mobile quarterback. Yeah, I'll admit it. I had you guys, some of you were coming at me, man. A lot of you guys were, you were right. You were right. I was wrong. I'm a man. I'll admit it. I will admit it. I was wrong. You need someone who can provide that ability to this offense. You need that person who can run the option, who can become a threat. But again, if you go back to that drive, though, what really bailed John Stephen out was DeVois Whaley. It was the run game. It was the ability to hand the ball off to the back. And look, Alabama had starters out. Was that the third or fourth quarter? It was fourth quarter, right? It's so hard to watch. It's like, what does it even matter? Does it even matter? Oh, by the way, did you guys notice I took the back off my chair? It's gone. There's no back. It's gone. I took it off. I hated that. I still hate it. It still squeaks. But John Steven, I think, would now look. The problem you run in with John is the knowledge, right? And there's also something to be said that John Steven, if he's so great, why did Starkel beat him out? Starkel wasn't here during the summer or during the fall camp. He wasn't here last year like John Steven. Why did Chad Morris go with Nick Starkel over John Steven? And that's a legitimate question. I don't think that John Steven's going to be the answer. I don't think you're going to see him go out there and all of a sudden they're scoring like he's not going to provide a big enough spark to where all of a sudden they're winning games left and right. Now, having saying that, Mississippi State is bad, y'all. Mississippi State is not good. I called it. I called this. It's like the two things I got right was Kentucky, because everyone thought Kentucky was, it's Stoops. Oh, they're going to be great. And I was like, no, I don't know about that. I don't know. They just lost like two really big pieces. I don't know that they're not the caliber team to recover from guys like that, losing guys like that. They're a flop, and now Mississippi State. Mississippi State, though, was bad. Both the Mississippi schools, it's a wonder that Arkansas couldn't get past Ole Miss. And it's going to be crazy it's not going to be crazy, but it will help if they can do something here and they do allow John Steven to come out onto the field for the future, whatever that may be. The next coaching staff, assuming you go away from Chad, or it might provide a spark if you're able to put John Steven in and you find a way to beat Mississippi State, you find a way to get past Western Kentucky, and all of a sudden you're 4-8, and that's about where a lot of people project you to go. And now you've got Chad. Let's assume now you've got Chad Morris for sure coming back, and now you've got John Steven providing that spark on offense. Then you can start year 3, what do we do? You guys know where I'm at with all that. I just don't think that Chad Morris is the guy, period. I don't think Chad Morris is the guy, period. I don't believe that happens. I'll tell you what happens. They stick with Hicks. They go out and they flop against Mississippi State. Or they decide to put John Steven in when it's too late. And I guess Chad had talked to the media today, and I don't have it. I wish I had it up, the quote, but he had said that they were going in to win this game. And I guess it was kind of the way you read it depends on like how you interpret it. Everyone's a little bit differently, but a lot of people think that it's him saying we are going to win this game versus maybe what he was implying is we're going in this to win it, which are two different things. Of course, you're going in to win every game. Like, that's the mentality of a coach. If you don't have that mentality, then I'm going to really hate on you, and you're going to really catch it, because if you've got a loser's mentality, I don't want anything to do with you. I don't know that Chad has a loser's mentality, but I do. He's just not the guy for the job. He's not the guy for the job. We know that. You know that. That's not groundbreaking. I don't know what my kids are doing. I'm pretty sure my 4-year-old's out there trying to or my 5-year-old now 5-year-old, I think she's trying to put together a dump truck or something. God knows. I just hear stuff clanging around. This is the problem when you try to do this and your wife's not home. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. They're going to roll Hicks or Starkel out there, and and then it's like, oh wait, we're down 27-0. Let's go ahead and put John in now. The staff, I don't know. Okay, let's read chat really quick. I don't think the depth chart was edited from last year. Oh, is that the belief? I don't know. You were wrong for the record. I didn't like either of them from the beginning. Yeah, I think the belief going in or coming into the season was that if you watched film on Starkel, okay, you go back to their bowl game when he played for A&M and he racked up, ridiculous amount of yards. When you go back and you watch the Hicks highlight film from SMU, oh yeah, they on film blow Ty Story, Cole Kelly away what we saw here at Arkansas. There's no doubt. There's no question. The mechanics were there with Starkel. Did you hear the one thing I thought? I don't even like saying his name. He makes me so mad. The former Alabama quarterback. Did you hear what he said about Starkel's ability to throw the ball? He's not wrong. Starkel's ability to throw the ball is impeccable. He was talking about how tight his spiral was, the rotations on the ball, the delivery. It's his decision-making process that's terrible. Hicks, on the other hand, he's far too conservative. He doesn't stretch the field. All you got to do is stack the box, 8 guys in the box, constantly gets. It's not hard to get pressure on him because the offensive line is so bad. That's what's going on. You've just got two guys they've got their head up their rears. I don't know. Their heads are somewhere. If they're not up their booties, they're up something, or maybe they're in the sand. But they don't have it put together on the field. The product on the field, and it's not all on them. There is an argument to be made. The receivers not running correct routes. The offensive line is terrible. There's so much work left to be done. The question is are we going to be patient enough to let Chad Morris at least do something more with what he's got? And I like, again, like I said before, the writing has been on the wall for a while. You've got to walk away from this staff, and especially if they lose to Western Kentucky. My God in heaven. Let's see. Arky56, am I on? Laugh out loud. Yes, you are on, Arky56. I know who you are. Hope you're doing well, Bob. Arky56, ladies and gentlemen, that is my dad. That's my dad. He wanted the name, what was it, Dad? Like Hillbilly Cardinal or something. I don't know, but we went with Arky56. You are in here. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. The deep throw, Nick, was the best choice for the deep ball. And he was. That's the thing that he had. He could stretch the field out. But I don't know what you get when you put John Steven out. That's the question. What does he provide? Does he do anything more than just, run the ball? Joe Moorhead will be looking for a job too, losing with Mullen roster. Well, he's and I said this a little while back, the further away they get away from Dan Mullins, the further away you get from his ability to analyze, to evaluate, to scout out talent, and to bring that talent to Mississippi State. Losing him, and we knew it was coming. We knew once Florida came calling that was going to happen, and that's exactly what happened. He went to Florida, and now they're. It's hard. It's hard to bounce back, as we all know here at Arkansas. It's hard to bounce back from that kind of head coach. Although you went from Houston Nutt to Petrino, and you went from good to better, and then fell flat on our faces. But they're horrible. Mississippi State is so bad, and you've got an opportunity to get a win here. It sounds like too they're going to be playing some freshmen. Let's see. You might be right, but we'll see. I don't know. You guys probably talking amongst yourselves. Let's see. Boop, 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 boop. Let's see. Fleck would just use this for a raise like Miles on. Could very well happen. Fleck is killing it at Minnesota, though. Go get Tony Elliott. Yeah, so we put a poll out. Oh, my God, did we trigger so many people with this poll. We triggered so many people with this freaking poll on the Hog Talk podcast on Twitter. All right, let me read this thing really quick, and I'll let you guys decide for those of you who don't know what it is. Let me pull it up really fast. We will talk about recruiting. I got a recruiting update for you. Where's it at? I'm going to find this poll really fast. Did you guys see Kirk Herbstreit put out his official top 5, and he's got Ohio State number 1 ahead of LSU and Alabama. I'm not going to argue with that. Ohio State is really good, but I don't think they're better than LSU. LSU's the whole package right now. Where is this poll? Okay, this is the poll. This got people so mad at us. It says, and this was my poll, okay? This was mine. It's over, there's 20 hours left, so if you want to go take it, you've got a lot of time. You can go do it tonight or tomorrow. You've got 20 hours left, but it says, okay, I'm going to read this right off here off Twitter. Let's play a game. Chad Morris fired at the end of the year. We know this may not happen, but just be quiet for a second. Of these 4 names, who would excite you the most? And, of course, the 5th option, because you only do 4 on Twitter, so the 5th option was to reply below with the name of your own. The options were P.J. Fleck at Minnesota, Mike Leach, Mike Norvell from Memphis, and Drinkwitz from Appalachian State. And I want to know what you guys think. Right now, at almost 800 votes, it's Mike Leach in the league at 30 in the lead. With 38%. Mike Norvell at 30, and then PJ Fleck at 20. I'm really surprised that Fleck isn't higher. I'm really surprised he's not higher. That's kind of shocking, actually. But yeah, you can go take that vote. But that thing got people so upset. Telling us that we're dividing the fan base, and we're dividing the fan base, not the horrible 2 and whatever doesn't matter Razorbacks. Yeah, it's definitely not. And then we've got people, Josh Collins, who's been a follower here on the channel for a while. He's really pushing for Houston Nutt. Let's see. Yeah, more. There's Collins again with the old Houston Nut. Scott says, this is at RS Craft 5. I don't know. You can go look at the replies. He says, Hugh Freeze. No doubt he was back into the SEC, won the Peach Bowl and Sugar Bowl, could recruit Memphis and Texas. Hugh Freeze. I like that one. Lynn Selvage says, let's play this game, but more stays and replaces his OC and DC. Who could he get with one? I don't know what that is. I don't know what she's saying there, but must have SEC experience. Yeah, I don't know. I think if you make any changes, it's just hard to see if you lose to Western Kentucky. Then here's a good one. John Newton says, who would leave his successful program for the uncertainty here? Not a bad point. Knowing he could be fired after only 2 years, and he might be fought for his remaining contract, talking about Bielema. Those two factors won't bring in successful people. Besides, his school will match pay or better and keep him. And Will.I.am says exactly, no respectable coach will come here after firing a coach of 2 years. I don't know that they're entirely wrong, but I'm going to tell you this, and I've said this here before, coaches aren't stupid. They know the expectations here are higher. Okay, they know that the expectations are much higher. They're not stupid. Okay, this is the SEC where, of course, it's going to be competitive. Of course, the expectations of a coach are much higher. Les Miles from Chester, and Noah says Urban Meyer. Bill Clark from Leslie. Yeah, there was some more hate. I'm not going to read the hate because I'm not going to focus on that. But that was the poll, so feel free to go check that out and vote. Greg McElroy said in that game, he said that Arkansas was better. I don't know if you guys caught that or not, but he said Arkansas is better, not just the talent, but as a team they're better. I think that was the notes that I wrote down here. I think he's drunk. I think he was drinking before the show or before the game. Okay, recruiting updates really quick now, or a real quick update for the team. Colton Jackson, left tackle, has decided to step down. He's just I guess it's injuries. I didn't read his little post that he put out today, but he has stepped down. So Colton Jackson stepping away from Razorback football. The update really is about Isaiah Jacobs, 3-star running back. A lot of people believe is completely overlooked. He's a 3-star at 5'10", 195 pounds. Arkansas made his top 5. That would be a huge get. It sounds like, I believe it's between Arkansas and Oklahoma State. He's out of Owasso, Oklahoma. There's also a belief that Aaron Moore, 3-star outside linebacker from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, could be on commitment watch for the Razorbacks as it stands right now. I think we talked about him just a little bit. And there's an update on Brady Ward, the 3-star tackle out of Alabama, who has committable offers from some big-time SEC schools. Alabama, I think, is kind of waiting on some things. But Brady Ward, who, again, 6'7", 310, is a very overlooked tackle, in my opinion. It sounds like Arkansas needs to show him a little bit something. And if they show a little bit of improvement, I would put him on commit watch, or at least the possibility of signing with the Razorbacks in February, possibly the early signing period in mid-December, late December. I think it's the same. What was it last year? December 20th or something. But they started that a little while back. So you have 2 signing periods. You've got the December date, which is like 3 days, and then obviously the first week of February. The first week, you should call it February because it's signing day. You combine the two. Signing day in February. But that's your recruiting updates. Brady Ward, Aaron Moore, Isaiah Jacobs. Right now, I would say that you should get 2 out of those 3. And we know the Memphis 3 out of Whitehaven, all 3 going to I believe they've all 3 committed. I actually didn't check on McDonald, but I believe they're all 3 going to end up signing. So let's see. Grant Patrick, bring in Gene Chizik for a defensive coordinator. I've made that argument before. Hang on just a second. This is ridiculous. Hang on. Okay. Hope you guys didn't hear that. Kids being a little loud. This is what happens when you try to do this, when you try to work and your wife's not home to keep the kids calm down. She had to work late. It's understandable. It happens. Lose to West Kentucky It is a real possibility. I think you guys are talking about Chad Morris getting fired. John Baker says Chad could tell you about other teams, starters all day long, but still needs to get back to work on his own. Can't figure out who will even start. There's a lot of work that needs to – there's a lot of things that have to change. If look, and I was talking about this with my dad. I don't know if he's still in here or not, but a little while back, he and I had discussed – what happened? Like, if you end up finding a way to get an upset, at this point, beating Mississippi State would qualify as an upset. If you got that win and you find a way to beat Mississippi State and you find a way to beat Western Kentucky, you do have Chad Morris coming back. I don't think there's any way that you fire him after that, or at least not realistically, because now it's like, well, they won more games and they got an SEC win. Why fire him? At least that's what I think. That's how I think they would process this whole thing. I would still say, look, they're still terrible. They lost to San Jose State. For the love of God, what are you doing? You need to, like, the writing is on the wall. It's been on the wall. You need to step away. But I feel like the way they'll process this whole thing is that's exactly what will happen. McDonald is committed. Okay, he pledged the same day as the other two. Okay, well, actually, I think one pledged ahead of the other, and I thought McDonald had pledged the day after, or was going to. Well, regardless, they're all three at Tennessee. Grant Patrick, let's see. Well, yeah, Greg McElroy is the color guy for Bama. Yeah, he is. Kelly Marie says, ever noticed during games that we are competitive, the announcers have nothing but hate, but when we are completely awful, they talk like we're great. Well, they got to have the balance of power in there somehow, I guess. I don't know. Basketball starts next week. Oh, my gosh. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. Absolutely. So happy. Kids, bleep, bleep, bleep. That's exactly what happened. Let's see. Garrett McKee. Yeah, basketball is going to be really exciting. I'm so happy. I'm really excited that we got our press passes for the women's. I can't wait. I cannot wait. When I was a kid, went to several games when I was a kid. Got older. Just I haven't been in on the women's sports. I'm going to. I want to take my kids so bad to a soccer game. All right. Let me get caught up here on chat a little more. And for those of you who are listening on the podcast, on the Pictorial Podcast, thank you so much for listening. Please remember on iTunes, now that we're here, now that we're on iTunes finally, please give me some star power. Yeah, and for those of you who are in here anyways, go ahead and subscribe to the Pictorial Podcast. If you were here, you don't have to listen to the Tuesday and Saturday morning show, but the Thirsty Thursday shows are going to be somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes long. And it's going to be exciting. Those are going to be exclusive. I feel like here we go with the Donald Trump again. They're going to be exclusive. They're going to be exclusive on iTunes and on Spotify, on all podcasts except iHeartRadio. I kind of went to I went from Trump to Bernie Sanders a little bit there. But feel free to go subscribe there, and you guys will get all the updates and everything. I'd take Chiswick as a DC. Oh, my gosh. Wouldn't we all? Chiswick is a good DC. That's kind of what he was known for. I'm just over here like, is it baseball season yet? I know. That's going to be great, too. I felt bad the Bama visitors' locker room, his name fell until they explained it. I don't know what you're talking about there. You got me. I'm lost. You're not going to make a nice friendship with Mike Neighbors this season. You're going to make I see what you're saying. You're going to make a nice friendship. Yeah, we've had him on the show. We are in not constant contact, but before the season started, it sounded like I think Porter was talking to him quite a bit, and we've got to know some people over there at the front office. And Mike Neighbors is a cool guy. I'm not gonna lie. Like, of all the people we've had on live, I'd like to just sit here and talk about the people that we've had on. They're fun, man. We've had obviously we had Chuck Barrett on, voice of the Razorbacks. That was really cool. He gave us some cool insider stuff. Stay away from politics, laugh out loud. Well, I made fun of both, so I think it's okay. It made everybody happy. If we beat LSU, would that change your opinion on? Well, it'd have to. The same question was asked, I think, by Tyler Edmonson a little while back. I think it was Tyler that asked this. If you beat so-and-so, does it? Of course, it has to. It has to. If you beat anybody, because then it shows at least they're capable which we've said all freaking year. And we said this last year. They're capable of beating these teams, not LSU. I want to be clear on that. I'm not saying they're capable of beating LSU, but they're capable of beating the San Jose States, the Colorado States on the road. They're capable of winning these games. But if I don't know. No, it would change my opinion of Oregon. Well, that's very true, too. And that's what LSU does, though, at the end of the year. They typically fall apart. Let's see. Okay. I think I'm pretty well caught up on chat. I know I probably missed some of it. Mr. T-Dub, what's going on? Every time you come in here, Mr. T-Dub, I just think of Patreon. You're a godsend, sir. You are you and everyone who's a part of the Patreon. I really do appreciate you guys being a part of that. That's really awesome. It really means a lot. I'm out here busting my rear, and it's like, oh, I got a Patreon. How cool is that? Or a one-time donation on the PayPal. You guys rock for that. I really do appreciate it. I'm gonna say it. We looked lost Saturday. When did they not look lost? John Stephen Jones did really well when you have an RPO, run pass option. Let's see. They have to designate a defensive player to stay on the quarterback, and it really opens up your pass game. This is why John Stephen and KJ must play. And I was wrong on that. At least as far as what's happened at Arkansas and the way Chad Morris's offense is, if you call that offense, the way things have gone, they can't sit back and a pocket passer doesn't work in this system. It does in other schools. There are other places where they've had a pocket passer and a guy who wasn't a true RPO threat, someone who could actually run the option, do things outside, set the edge. They've had guys who could sit back in the pocket and throw the ball and open things up and let your skill guys do all the work. That has worked, and it worked at SMU for Chad, especially his last year there. You look at Hicks's numbers, they're ridiculous. I mean, you can argue, well, yeah, but look at the conference, blah, blah, blah. Look at the talent. I mean, outside, yeah, they had a really good receiver. They had a really good wideout who's now in the NFL. But it takes more than just one really badass receiver to get things running in that offense. You know, your skill guy's got to step up, and your quarterback has to be able to deliver a nice ball. And Hicks, go watch some of that SMU film. It's intriguing what he was able to do in that offense. Here, it's like it's polar opposite. Obviously, it's the SEC. It plays a part in it. But then you go back to last year with Colorado State, with North Texas. You fast forward to this year. It's San Jose State. You know, it's week in and week out. If you get someone back there who's a threat as an RPO, as someone who can run the ball, who can set the outside edge. You know what else was really interesting, too, when John Stevens stepped in? Not only did it make the offense work and click, again, against the majority of the Alabama starting defense, it opened up things in the inside because now Bama's like, wait a minute, they got a guy that's going to try and set the edge now. We're going to spread safeties and outside linebackers out, and it wasn't one guy trying to block a whole plethora of Alabama defenders. It was man-to-man or as double team. You had the option to move it inside, and you could actually open things up inside. And you had a nice little gap for Devois Whaley to run through. That's what happens when you set the outside edge, when you're able to get something going and you've got a quarterback who could run the RPO outside. It opens this offense up greatly. This offense, this style has worked without true dual threat quarterbacks, but it works at its best. Now, I did say that early on. It does work better when you have a guy that's capable of running the football like that. That's what John Stephen provides. As far as KJ, I know everyone's like, but you got to put in KJ. KJ's a true freshman. You will see him play. I do think these last four, I don't know, I say that. They should play him these last 4 games. I do think we'll see John Stephen. You know, because they're going to lose to some. You know, LSU's going to be up 45-0. They're going to put John Stephen in. With KJ, it's just you've got a true freshman who how much of the offense is really installed with him. If they don't have, but what was it, 40% with Starkle? How much do you think they have installed with KJ? I think that's something too the staff looks at and really obviously with how much they've stuck with Hicks, it means a lot to him, a guy who can run their offense. One SEC win in 2 years saves nothing. Well, you'd be surprised. I mean, because most people had them projected anyways at 4 wins. I think it does save his job. I'd have to disagree, John. I'd have to disagree. If you beat Mississippi State, if you find a way to get that win and you beat Western Kentucky at the same time, now you're at 4 wins with a Power 5. What did Hunter Yurchek say just a few weeks back? He felt like Chad had them going in the right direction. He didn't have to say anything at all, and that's what he said. And he said that he's backed his head coach up multiple times. Yes, I agree. What else was he going to say? I agree with that. But I really do feel like he's the kind of guy, I mean, you heard what he said about losing is a breach of contract. I mean, that's on film. He said that in front of cameras. But I think, if I remember right, that was actually in regards to Mike Anderson and what was going on with Mike. I could be wrong. That might have come after a loss last year during the football season. But we haven't come out and be in any way hostile towards Chad Morris's job security yet. You lose, and this might be a moot point anyways because they're not going to beat Mississippi State. I'm not even going to pick them. Like I said, I'm not picking them to cover the spread. And I don't think they beat Western Kentucky as it stands. Although Western Kentucky finally lost. Ty Story finally did lose. If Arkansas loses to Western Kentucky and Ty Story looks like a Heisman-level quarterback, what are the odds? Probably pretty high. I can't wait for post-game live stream. It's going to be scary. A win, it's still going to be scary because people are still going to be pissed. Ty Story will have more SEC wins than Chad. Touche. Watch Ty Story throw for a crapload of yards and shred us, which could still happen, Jeremy. It could still absolutely happen. Army would beat us. Yeah. Asa, I'm late. It's okay, Asa. You're all right. If you missed the update, I'm gonna have a press pass. So excited about that. I'm so excited. We got press passes for the women's game, for women's basketball. We're so excited. The Hog Talk. Wearing the shirt too. Wearing it. Let's see. Mr. T-Dub says, that's what I've been screaming. When John Stephen Jones would do that little delayed handoff or pull it and run, Bama was on its heels for a few plays. Yeah, and that's what happens. That's what happens when you have a true RPO guy at quarterback in this offense. Like I said, I was wrong, and I'll admit it. I really thought, at least even at Arkansas with the SEC, I thought they could still operate this offense with someone who could sit back and sit back and throw the ball down the field. And there's something to be said about a quarterback who can stretch the field. There's something to be said about that. Where are we at on time? Let's look. Where's my time? 48. Okay, we're still doing good. All right. Let's see. That's why Jimbo said, no way, Jose. Let's see. Starkle ain't even running the 40% good. Oh, man. Partly I'm here for the comments, really. Like, I'm here. Like, I'm glad I can sit here and talk with you guys, but I love you guys. You kill me. Arkansas fans forgot how to win real games. Says Asa. I think that quarterback room is toxic. Craddock doesn't like Starkle and vice versa. I think the whole locker room is falling apart. I'm not going to go that far because the people that we know, that we talk to, that we've had on, do not say that that's the case. In fact, they will say that, in all honesty, they seem like they're all still a group, and it showed up until the Auburn game that they really played they at least gave effort for 4 quarters. It didn't seem like the wheels were falling off because people weren't buying in. The wheels are falling off because the sidelines, they're in over their heads. I don't think the locker room is falling apart as far as I know, and again, the people that we've talked to who are very well connected. That's not what's going on. It's just really discombobulation and being unprepared week in and week out on the sidelines. It's absolutely costing these guys. But you may be right. As far as what's going on in the quarterback room, only those guys know. Who knows? I mean, you do get that vibe that Ben Hicks is Chad Morris's guy and so on and so forth, and maybe some people don't like that. Man, when you guys leave these really long comment, I know you got a lot to say, but sometimes I have to read it fast and I mess up. I've never gotten the vibe from any players that they like Craddock. I was at the ladies' clinic. You could see the love with almost all of the coaches, but I never saw it with Craddock. I don't know. Supposedly he's in good with his guys. Supposedly, like I've not heard that there's any tension. I don't think that that's what's going on right now. Dr. Pep, can we get a female football team, win or lose? I could still watch. Okay. All right. Grant Patrick, it's too late, or it's too much to ask for one of our quarterbacks to throw at least 50% completion rate. Mark Douglas, what's up, Mark? Hope all is well, sir. Would not surprise me if this staff spends all Western Kentucky week focusing on stopping Ty Story to prevent him from embarrassing them. That's a really good point. That we end up letting let their backs run up for 200 yards. We are just now seeing Jones play at quarterback. Jerry be at every damn game. Yeah, he'll definitely come through, and so will Dad. Dad will come through too, I think, who's also a former Razorback. Will your passes allow you for football this year? We need y'all to ask some real questions. Bob Holt is hilariously terrible. How awesome is Nick Saban? Don't you love their new lights? I see you're quoting yeah. So here's the thing. The U of A, I've told y'all before, I don't put it. It's hard enough to get press passes. We're going to ask whatever questions we're allowed to ask. But first off, these are not game day football passes. These are women's basketball only passes. We're trying to cover a little bit more, women's sports. We've had Mike Neighbors on. We're going to try and get Chelsea. We're going to try and get her on. I don't know now that the season's underway if we're going to get her on. But we're going to try, but we're trying to make our way in there. As far as if we do eventually get those passes, there are guidelines you kind of have to follow. Like if we say something bad enough, there could be the possibility that we lose our access. Some access, maybe all of it. I think that's probably why some of these questions seem a little cookie cutter. So I don't know that for a fact. I can't say that. I've honestly, we've actually never asked about that when we've had people from the media on. Maybe we need to ask Otis Kirk that next time we have him on. I don't know. I think there's a reason why you get those kind of cookie cutter questions, and especially when it comes to the players, you get cookie cutter questions. I think that's just by design. I know we want them to grill these coaches. We want them to grill some of these guys, but I think there's a reason why. Because you would think by now, even during the Houston Nut years, now things were different back then. But even back then, there were times like, why aren't we addressing more of these questions? And I think there's just a tighter ship these days. I think that's why you're getting the cookie cutter questions. I don't know that. That's not me. I don't know that they have power over the media. I don't think they're trying to suppress their First Amendment right, but they do absolutely have. They can take away press passes just as quickly as they give them out. From what I understand. So, yeah, I want to grill Chad Morris. I want to walk in there and be like, homie, what are you doing? Why are you still here? Get out. I mean, I wouldn't do that. Maybe I would. I don't know. Jimmy Johnson said it best. Hit me in the head with a hammer the next time I take a dumb player. Okay. Let's see. Ty Story is excelling with his new team and knows our defense well. Those are good points. How much can we really take away from John Stephen Jones versus Bama? How many starters were in against him? So, yeah, they had the majority of their starting defense. I think there were only maybe one or two backups in, and that's because they were rotating. Yeah, they were out there. Starters were out there. I don't think you could take as much as people think you can. I don't think that what you saw is what you're going to get week in and week out, assuming you play John Stephen Jones. I don't know yet. It's hard to say. But it was impressive nonetheless, and it makes you wonder if that's what we got, and it is consistent, and they are doing that week in and week out with John. Why the hell didn't they do this sooner? What is the deal? Their evaluation of quarterback play has not been very good. I mean, obviously. But Ty might know our defense, but he definitely didn't know the offense. He didn't, and that's what cost him that. And just, again, it's making you wonder, too, what we saw out of Cole Kelly and Ty. It's real easy to write them off as terrible quarterbacks. But the more now we are, we're halfway through the second season. We've still got this debacle of a situation going on with the quarterbacks. Absolutely makes you wonder, Maybe it's all on the coaches and not on the players, or 90% on this staff and their inability to get these guys prepared. And it just makes the quarterbacks look worse than they really are. It's a thought. I do still think Ty Story and Cole Kelly were very limited. Ty Story is just very limited as a player. But when you've got all the right pieces in the right place, you know what you're doing, you're a capable coach, you can make average players look really good. You see that all the time in college. That's why you get these Heisman guy or All-Americans who go into the pros, and sometimes they're not worth a crap. They just happen to be in a really good system, and they're really well coached, and the product on the field was better. And they take advantage, and you know what? They're made out to be these elite, great players like Matt Leinart. Well, okay, just place any outside of Carson Palmer, name any USC quarterback or Oklahoma quarterback. It's like, oh, they're so great, but maybe it's the offense that they're in and the coach that was coaching them. Maybe it's the combination of all those things. I think that's kind of what happened here. I think it's the opposite, where the staff is so discombobulated, so unprepared, so in over their heads that the product on the field is so bad it makes everybody look bad. But I do still think they're limited. I do still think that Hicks is Ty Story 2.0, but I do think Ty Story, arm talent-wise, is better than Cole Kelly or Ty Story. It's just that he doesn't have the support, and he's a horrible decision maker. But if you had guys if you had a capable staff on the sidelines, maybe some of these mistakes would be prevented. Sometimes it's on the player. A lot of the times when you're throwing picks, it's on the quarterback. But there's also the debate of, are they throwing to an area? Right? Now, I remember Kurt Warner talking about this when he was with the Greatest Show on Turf in St. Louis, that won a Super Bowl. He talked about throwing the ball. He doesn't throw to a player. He threw to an area on the field. And if someone was out of step for even a millisecond, that ball could wind up getting picked. Maybe that's some of what's going on, why Nick Starkel's throwing so many picks, combined with the fact that he's a horrible decision maker and he's got a horrible offensive line. And he's got freshman wideouts, and Mike Woods apparently doesn't know routes. I don't know what that's all about. I've heard that through the rumor mill that he's lost on on his route sheet, but I don't know how true that is. Don't quote me on that. But again, when you combine all the bad that's happening with these coaches that are in over their heads, talking about not being prepared, and there's something else too that we have to talk about really fast. They talked about this today. I think it was, Clay Henry this morning on the Morning Rush brought up a fantastic point. Not scrimmaging enough is costing this team. Not being able to scrimmage enough is costing this team. That is, now Bo Mattingly, we know he did that little documentary with Alabama, right? He went over to Alabama and watched Nick Saban. Those guys, they scrimmage daily. They want the best, the ones on the ones. They want to get the best and the most that they can get out of their players, and you can only see what you really got when you're matching them up with your ones. To not be afraid to scrimmage. Now, there's an advantage when you're Clemson, Ohio State, when you're Alabama. You've got the just talent, right? If someone goes down, it's next guy up. That is an advantage that they have. That is true. But I think that's some of what we're also seeing and why they're so unprepared. They don't scrimmage enough. Supposedly, Houston Nutt scrimmaged quite a bit behind closed doors. He would do these promptu scrimmages where, like, all of a sudden it'd be like, all right, we're going to scrimmage, and it helped them get prepared, and it allowed them to get used to the contact, along with knowing what their roles are within the team when they're in a situation where it's live, full contact against the ones. And I think sometimes, too, he liked to do the ones versus twos, but I've heard he actually kind of mixed that up a little bit. Petrino liked to scrimmage a lot, loved to run up plays. I can remember his spring games. They ran up a lot of plays. They won as much scrimmage as they could get. Chad Morris apparently doesn't do that, doesn't scrimmage at all. And it makes you wonder, when you add all these things together, how much of it is the staff versus the players and the product on the field overall with the individual effort that you're getting. And that is a problem when you're not getting full effort and these guys aren't fully bought in. But when you're not prepared, when you're not physically prepared, when you don't know you're about to play, sub out Alabama. Hell, we'll go with San Jose State. They were so unprepared. So how much of that was really on Starkel? I think I'm with you. Probably 75% on Starkel. Horrible decision maker, but also not having him prepared by scrimmaging. by going ones versus ones, by being prepared, getting it done in the film room. What's going on there? Are they not? Why do they look so unprepared week in and week out? Makes you wonder how much of this is really on all of it on the coaching staff. I think now we're all getting it. It's way more than we thought. The end of last year, I don't want to bring this up again, but the end of last year, I said 2-10. Some of that's got to go on the coaches, not just the players. I'm starting to think what I should have said was, okay, no, this was all at least 90% on the staff, on the coaching staff, not the players. And maybe that's why Ty Story's at Western Kentucky killing it. Or at least doing well. I think, like I said, they finally lost. Went on a rant there. What are we at? Are we over an hour? Oh, we are over an hour. Okay. Let me, boop, 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 boop. I don't know what, anytime you guys say nut, Houston nut with 2 T's, it bleeps out your, it pushes your message for held for review. That's so funny. Over here talking about nuts. Maybe we could fire Craddock and hire Tyler Wilson. That's not going to happen. I saw that too. I'm definitely turning up. Yeah, so Brandon Allen is going to start this weekend again for Colorado, by the way. Those of you who didn't know that. I've also heard that Nutt could come in as an interim coach. Have you heard that? No, I've not heard that. Dylan Clements says Nick Saban was more pissed and all over the refs, up 48-0 than Chad Morris was being down 48-0. He's just not an ass chewer. That's not what he is. I think you should be. I think you ought to be on your guys' rear ends. You know, Brett couldn't recruit. That's why he's gone. Well, you go and look at his first 2 recruiting classes, not too shabby. I mean, when you could walk into Florida and take out Denver Kirkland, Alex Collins, when you could pull those guys out who had committable offers. Collins, according I think 24/7, or maybe it's Rivals, one of them, he's a 5-star. Committable offers to everywhere. Remember his mom wanted him to go to Miami. She ran off with his signing papers. When you could walk into other states and take some of their best players, he recruited in the beginning. I think what happened was he just kind of, I don't know, his last couple of years here, he just fell flat on his face with recruiting. Programs have successful freshman quarterbacks all across the country, but we always have excuses not to play ours. And, I mean, that's not wrong, but, Tristan, you also have to realize some of those other teams have a better complete product on the field. It's easier to put a freshman in when the other 10 guys are all bought in and all on the same page and they're being led by a leader and they have a competent offensive coordinator. Yeah, you can put a freshman in. Look at Clemson, what they've got going on over there. Oklahoma, it's plug and play. Lincoln Riley knows what the hell he's doing over there at Oklahoma. That's a difference. It's not finding excuses not to play freshman quarterbacks. It's that the staff is unprepared. They don't know what they're doing. You look at how they've handled the quarterback situation. It's not making excuses. It's just they're facts, man. It's the truth. They don't have they don't have any product on the field. Nobody's on the same page. Now we'll see again if they. I hope we see a lot more of John Stephen. I just hope to God we do. I never understood why we reinvent the wheel. Let's do what the teams do. Let's do what the teams that win do. So Sean Crane. Well, not everything works everywhere, especially in college football. You got to have I've said it before, but you got to have competent guys. You got to have competent guys on the sidelines. You got to have better talent on the field at the end of the day. Coach Morris has said 1,000 times, we're only concerned with how this team is playing, not who we are playing. I believe that may be a part of the lack of preparation. Well, I mean, every coach has their own little bit of vernacular, right? They all have their own things, their own little sayings. I just think it's at the end of the day, it's the things that you do on the field in practice that help you better prepare, and then it's also the things that you're doing in the film room. And it's obvious there's a disconnect somewhere. Let's see. Brett Bielema always had a front line, though. Well, I mean, yeah, his offensive lines were usually pretty good there until the last couple of years. Okay, wouldn't recruit. Well, I mean, Kelly, I think you were implying. It seemed like to me you were implying that he never recruited well. That's not true. It wasn't until his final, right? It wasn't until his final couple of years where it all kind of fell apart. Our coach's name is Chad. Are we surprised? Sam Pittman leaving did Burt in? Fishman says. Kelly Marie says, yes, KJ was the number 1 quarterback out of the state of Mississippi. Y'all know who number 2 was, starting quarterback at Ole Miss. Do they have a complete package? ? You should get your check on the show. Yeah. Now, that is different. You bring them on my show. You're on my turf. But that won't ever happen. Patrick Boatner says, we blame the coach or the caliber of players. Look at how good Bama players was. It shows that you win with recruits. I don't think most coaches could coach this team. Disagree. I'll just say that. They're definitely better than winning 2 games. I'll say that. Jacob, that would be amazing at this point. What if we go 5-7? Good season. That's what Jacob said. Okay. It's not. I don't think that happens. It's sad when we're excited for 5-7, but here we are. Grant Patrick, if Nolan won our only basketball championship, maybe he can get the football team their 2nd championship. I know you're kidding, Grant. I know that's a joke. It is really hard. So you can't. I can't read your emotions. Obviously, when you guys are typing, I don't know if you're being funny or not. But obviously, I think you're funny. You're a funny guy, Grant. Elvin Gully says Coach Morse gets praise and credit from 2 great Clemson quarterbacks, and Hicks was great under him at SMU. Isn't not all on Morris? He didn't forget how to coach. So you're saying it isn't all on Chad Morris? Then what are you blaming then, Elvin? Who do you look to? Because at the end of the day, when your ceiling is 3, maybe 4 wins year 2, and you've lost to San Jose State, and you're an underdog the rest of the conference, and you might very well could be an underdog against Western Kentucky, who do you put the blame on? I'm quite sure that Morris doesn't know Morris's offense. Mr. T-Dub, that's right. Hicks was not great with Chad. Let's check the stats. Well, he was 1 year. 1 year he was actually pretty good. Brett is winning. He's getting $320,000 a month. Nope, he's not right now. But now he's taking it to. He's gonna. I guess he's gonna get all lawyered up over that. Sounds like. Hopefully they don't play John Stephen Jones and Jerry gets mad, so he pays Chad's buyout. All right, so we're over an hour. That was great. We had so much to talk about, and there's still stuff that I left out. There's notes that I left out, talking about some stuff that Alabama did in that ball game. But Friday's show, oh man, as far as I know, we should still be up and running on Friday. As far as I know, if anything changes, I'll let you guys know, either on social or somewhere on social media. I'll let you guys know. Well, I think that's going to do it. Like I said, for those of you who missed it, we had our producer on from the Hog Talk podcast, none other than himself, Mr. Porter Hayes, a.k.a. Peck, who gave the announcement that we have our press passes for women's basketball. We're really excited about that. We're trying to dive into a little bit of the women's sports a little bit more. So that's huge. That was so awesome. So good. So good. I was excited when I read that email. So that's part of what you missed, but I'm gonna go. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna figure out what we're doing for dinner and have a good rest of the night and get prepared. Yeah. So remember the Pig Trail podcast. This episode, if I remember, will be up on the Pig Trail podcast on iTunes, on Spotify, everywhere except iHeartRadio. So if you guys want to listen to this, those of you who maybe missed bits and pieces, you can get caught up there, or you can just listen here if you want, but. And then Thursday, the exclusive podcast that's only there, the Thirsty Thursday show will be up. They're usually somewhere between 15 and 30 minutes. So hope you guys enjoy that. They're really fun. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. So let's see. When anyone says it's not, let me say this. When anyone says it's not the coaching staff's fault, I'll reply with 3 words: San Jose State. Yeah, you've got the talent to beat North Texas last year. You had the talent to beat Colorado State last year. You had the talent to beat San Jose State this year. Did I say San Jose? Sorry, I'm getting tired. All the teams they shouldn't have lost to a year ago outside of the SEC teams, your non-Power 5s, your non-cons that you played last year should have beat, and then this year You should absolutely. Take care, Ty. Congrats again. Thanks a lot, Castle. I appreciate it. Yeah. Anytime I hear someone say that, I don't know. I just don't know if you're really watching the games. Things are so bad that at my layover, see, I saw a guy with. Yeah, I saw where you. I saw that, T-Dub. I think you told that to me in Twitter. I heard that somewhere. Someone else had a similar case where they saw someone with duct tape over their mouth with the Razorback logo. Are you changing the logo from the PTN to the PTP? Yes, I am. I think I'm going to here. I think I'm still going to change this to the PTP as well. I am. I know I am. I'm going to make it all one tight product. It's going to be all one thing for you guys so you don't get lost. So you know, oh, there it is. There's the PTP. There's the Pictorial Podcast. Yep, going away from the Pictorial Network. It's been the PTN for what? Like almost 3 years. So going to the PTP. Really excited about the changes. I'm working on the logo. I'm getting some help with someone. I can't wait for that to be done. This guy did the artwork for what you see here. His name's Damon Fire. I follow him on Twitter. We've been friends for a while. Good guy. Lives in Canada. Could not tell you even couldn't even point a football out if you put one on the wall. If you put a picture of a football on the wall, you wouldn't know what it is. He's in Canada. He doesn't care about football up there. But I've got him working on the new stuff that's coming out. So really excited about all that. But you'll see it, obviously, when it happens. Another good one, thanks for your time, dedication to the shows. Yeah, and thank you guys for coming through. I really do appreciate it. You guys know, a lot of you who are the regs, who are my regulars here, I really do appreciate every single one of you guys. Again, we've built a really cool community here. Let me post that Discord really quick, and we'll hang her up. See, I ought to have this stuff just ready to go. My phone's over here blowing up. We hadn't shared that with anybody. That was the whole press pass stuff. You guys are the first. You guys are the first to hear about that. We were going to do a whole big thing across social media, but we did it here first. Here you go. There you go. There's the Discord. If you guys want to join in, it's a lot of fun over there. Even when you're getting blown out by Bama, it's a lot of fun in there. Another good one. Thanks for your. Oh no, I already read that. Grant says I need to make a tribute video for the end of the PTN. It's not the end necessarily. It's just a name change. You know. I'm no longer the St. Louis. Well, no, because I'm still in Springdale. I was going to say we're no longer the St. Louis Rams, or we're no longer the Cleveland Browns. We're the Baltimore Ravens, right? Well, I guess they still change cities there, too. Just changing the logo and the name, and I'm going to try and change the URL. That's going to be a little tricky. So you guys will know all about that when it happens. Since you're going to the women's basketball game, are you not doing the Monday and Friday live show since you'll be at the game? We're going to work that out. There may be some changes. Porter and I are trying to figure out who's going to go to the games. We may move the times. The Monday night show and the Friday night shows may be changing. I'm going to try and work that out, get it all figured out, or I may just only go to one game and Porter go to the other. Yeah, we've got a lot to work through. That's a good question, Tony. Thanks. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, we're going to get the schedule laid out. We're going to try and make it all happen. Or maybe we stream earlier. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that has to happen. I'm going to have to move some things around for sure. But I'll keep you guys, I'll keep you up to date. So again, remember to like, comment, share, check out all the links down below. I'm not just saying that. Please go check out the links down below in the description box. There's, if you want to join the Patreon page, if you want to donate, there's a PayPal link there. Check them out. The Hog Talk podcast is down there, and I'm going to add the PTP link as well. So until the next live stream, which should be Friday night, I will see you guys around. Don't forget, Pictorial Podcast. Go subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, whatever. Go check it out. We got a Thirsty Thursday show that's exclusive there. Nowhere else, just there. So, yeah. Till the next show, go Hogs. See you around.